What's up, guys? Welcome to the second week of the Coughy Show. My name is Mike. I got Eric with me.
What's up?
This week we're going to start out with some shop news. We finally stopped slacking and got ourselves a loyalty system. So you'll now have a tablet where you can register and enter your phone number and email address, all that fun stuff. And you'll be able to accumulate rewards on each transaction, and then we'll have weekly promos that run on those devices as well. So make sure you get signed up. That'll be ready to go next Tuesday. Now we'll jump into some CBD news. We're going to start out with not exactly Omaha CBD, but close. So this is a town that's about 10 minutes north of Blair, Nebraska. It's about a shop called DJs Vapes General Store. They got in trouble back in December 2017, and they've been through about 3 different court systems now. All the cases have been dismissed, but they've wasted about $40,000 in attorney fees, all for selling legal CBD products. So they're trying to raise awareness and raise some money. In my opinion, this all comes down to you have to be careful in these small towns because they generalize hemp and they can't disassociate THC from CBD. So these smaller towns are still running into these kind of issues, whereas in Omaha, our prosecutors come out and said, I'm not going to prosecute CBD cases because it's a waste of my time and the police's time. So there's really no point. What are your thoughts, Eric?
I don't understand how much money the state would waste on that. You got to think, going to trial 3 times over 2 years, it's a lot of taxpayer dollars just for something that more than likely I couldn't imagine would ever come to anything other than a huge waste of money for the person that owns the store and for the state itself.
Yeah, if this guy's wasted, this woman has wasted $40,000 now in legal fees. I can't imagine what the state has wasted in legal fees and time to get nowhere.
Like, don't you have real criminals that you could worry about? People that are actually doing real illegal things?
Right. So make sure you check out their Facebook page. It's DJs Vapes General Store. Share their post, share their story, raise awareness. Now we're going to jump into, on military.com, they had an article about the Defense Department officials saying that all CBD products are forbidden to troops. So that's the headline, but as you read it more, it's saying that they could be okay if they're using topicals as long as they're not patches, which would enter the bloodstream. But they're allowed to use lotions and stuff like that because apparently there's some sort of rule that says you can't consume any form of hemp, which I don't know, in my opinion that needs to be reevaluated now that this is legal on a federal level, because if the product doesn't contain THC and it's not psychoactive, like, why can't they take it? Especially when you see a lot of vets suffering from PTSD and stuff like that who are seeing benefits from CBD.
Yeah, and I think of, like, if you go to the military and you spend all that time there, just how, like, sore your body could be. I don't understand why people still just think, like, oh, here's a prescription, here's a pain pill. At least give them the option to try something that's not going to be addictive, that's not, a drug, and then see if that works before just saying, well, no, you can't try it at all.
Right. Again, offer them a THC-free product if THC is the issue, which I can understand could mess with them in combat and stuff like that. But, especially going through, like, your boot camps and your different training exercises and stuff like that, you could really help these guys in their recovery times by introducing CBD.
Yeah, it would definitely help with the pain, I think.
So there was also an article on golf.com this week. Phil Mickelson, one of the biggest names in golf, is now using CBD, and they're the association that oversees the golf world for drugs and stuff like that has now allowed CBD as long as it's not a full spectrum product. So this has to be CBD isolate based products, so 0 THC, 0 tolerance. So they're still going to have to take their normal drug tests and stuff, but as long as THC doesn't show up, they're going to be fine. And these golfers are saying that they're seeing benefits in their recovery times and stuff like that.
Yeah, Hoffman says he hasn't had any injuries, his body feels good, and his brain is clear. I mean, it sounds a lot better when you're doing something strenuous, like out playing golf all day. You know, that's got to be hard on your back when you're swinging, you know, in that awkward motion all day long. And again, you know, you're not using any medicine for it. You're using something that's natural, that, you know, if it works for just him, that's great. It works for one person. If it doesn't work for someone else, at least he uses something that, you know, isn't gonna make him sick, or that he's not gonna be addicted to in the future. And, you know, it's a lot of stress on your body when you play golf all day, 6 months out of the year.
Right, that's a long day. 18 holes is a whole day of golf.
Oh yeah, especially in like a tournament when you've got to like wait for the next person in front of you. I mean, you could be out there playing like 8 or 10 hours. You're just standing, walking, and swinging. And they
don't get a chance to sit down.
No, they definitely don't.
But yeah, really good write-up on golf.com. I'm kind of impressed because they talked about these guys using it, and then they also talked about how CBD works and actually got into the endocannabinoid system and how we all have CB1 and CB2 receptors and how the body is constantly creating cannabinoids in the receptors. So definitely go check out that article. That'll be in the show notes. Worth a read for sure.
Yeah, they definitely did their research on that one.
For sure. And then there's an article here on Insider.com. Yeah. So this article is talking a lady talking with a doctor about using CBD for her anxiety specifically. The only thing I don't like about these kind of articles is that they don't really list what CBD product they're using. So we can't really give a good opinion on the article because there's so many CBD products out here, and there's so many products that are constantly getting third-party testing, and they're showing that they have no CBD or next to no CBD, basically not what's advertised on the label. So these people try it, and then they have a negative experience, or they don't have a good experience, and they're preaching that CBD doesn't work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I always say if you're gonna try CBD, it's always best to start with something cheap that's easy, that you can, you know, really do your homework on, and then see, you know, what you like and if it works from there. Just because there's so many options and everybody's gonna be different with something, that, you know, like I said, one person could try it and they're gonna love it, one could try it and they hate it. There's so many factors. It's always best to start with something simple, you know, and on the lower end, see like, yeah, I feel good, and then you can really branch into, you know, the tinctures and the big things in life that are going to cost a lot more that you do every day, when realistically you could start with, you know, gummies, capsules, chocolate, the smaller things, just to see, you know, how it works, and then branch off from there. Not just jump into the most expensive thing on the shelf and then say, oh, it didn't do anything, I don't like it, you know, because you could take it 100 other ways that might work better, or different brands that would be better.
Yeah, and that's another issue, is the pricing on CBD right now. Like, we got an offer from a local company a few weeks ago. I'm not going to mention their name, but they target more of salons and massage parlors and stuff like that in West Omaha. So they have a higher end market, but in my opinion, that doesn't necessarily mean you should be charging more for your product. Your CBD, you know, costs the same. Everybody pays the same prices for isolate, distillate, within, you know, a margin. So there's no reason why you should be selling a product to us for $25 more than we're selling a product to a customer already. That's another thing that's preventing people from jumping onto CBD. They're already apprehensive because there's so much in the news about it, and, you know, there's so much, it works for this, it works for that, and it kind of sounds like snake oil, so they're already apprehensive. And then you attach these high price tags to it, and nobody wants to spend $100 to gamble on it. They'd rather just go to their doctor and go with whatever their doctor says, because their doctor knows best.
Yeah, and a prescription, $11 prescription sounds a lot easier than jumping in and spending $250 on something. I think that CBD is better to actually help people. So when you put out all these high amounts for everything, just because it's in the news and people talk about it, and you see signs on the corner and banners that no one's gonna want to try it if it's expensive. When you're just trying to jump onto that market, you've got to be reasonable. Otherwise, nobody's gonna want to just jump headfirst into nothing. That's you don't buy a car without driving it and spend all that money. So you have to have moderate pricing on certain things. So at least then people have the option to try it. Then you can worry about the crazy expensive things down the road when they know that it will work for them and that it will help with what they need.
Right. Yeah, when you come here, we're making sure that we have a good product, and we're not going to try to sell you, because our tinctures start out at 600 milligrams and they go up to 5,000 milligrams, but there's no point in us selling you a 5,000 milligram product on your first trip in, because that's just going to screw up your tolerance. We're going to push for that 600 milligram product, and we're probably going to give you 10 or 15% off on it, so you can try it and then give us your feedback. We want to hear your feedback. We want to know that it's working for whatever ailment that you're trying to fix. We can't tell you that it's going to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure anything, but we want to hear your feedback. Let us know what it's doing for you. So the last thing we're going to bring up is a recent Gallup poll saying that half of American population believes CBD has medical benefits, and then they're saying 61% would like to see it appear on the shelves of their local drugstore, the same as other healthcare products, while 33% are of the opinion that it should be doled out with a prescription. My opinion is, why does the pharmaceutical industry need to get involved? Why should you need a prescription for it? It's a naturally grown plant that people can benefit from without all the extra middlemen, and I think that's just going to add to the cost.
Yeah, I don't understand, thinking that you need a prescription. There's a lot of people, I always tell them, consult your doctor, talk to your doctor about it, especially if you want to give CBD to your kids, or if you have another medical condition, definitely ask. But I don't see, a prescription being necessary, because it's not anything that's mind altering. If you're an adult and you're 18 and older, 21, where you have to be, then you should have the decision to go buy it, try it. You shouldn't have to consult a doctor and go through that, more bills, rack up debt to see a doctor just for them to decide if something that's natural and holistic would work for you.
Exactly. So that's it for CBD news this week. We'll jump into a new product that we've been looking at, the Suorin Air Plus. So we've been selling the Suorin products for a few years now. The Air and the Drop specifically are super popular devices because they're so cheap and they're pretty solid. They're not going to last you 2 or 3 years, but a $20 vape that's lasting you like 6 months or so, you'd say, is pretty rare to find. Most of those things just break within the first month or so. So this is a newer version of the Air. It's got better battery, greater wattage, and e-liquid capacities. So it's actually got 2 different cartridges now. One that you can use for freebase or normal nicotine vape juice, or one that you can use specifically for salt e-liquids.
Yeah, I like the Suorin Air Plus. I mean, the original Suorin Air, it was a good vape, but it definitely had its flaws. It was fairly simple in design. At least with the new one, the pods are a little bit different, which has always been an issue with Suorin, is a little more capacity in the pods and them lasting a little longer. As well, now it's got a better indicator for the battery level, which definitely helps. A lot of college kids vape, so when you're at school all day, you want to at least know where your battery levels are, just because you don't want to run without it. So an extended battery, and it's a little bit better to let you know when it needs to be recharged, so you're not stuck in the middle of the day with nothing.
Yes, sir. So that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we apologize for the background noises and stuff like that. We are just doing this not live, but there's no editing, and we're just doing it in the back of the shop. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, have a good week, guys.